The art scene is rapidly growing in San Marcos. From murals to handmade items, stay tuned to see some amazing work from ArtFest. A creative spring fashion exhibit was showcased by Bobcats at a historic venue on the square. We'll give you a look into the event. An annual tradition has been brought back to Texas State, a small music festival for students to celebrate the end of a semester. Stay tuned to see the turnout. Students of Texas State have been taking a stand against recent ICE raids on campus. We'll take you inside the story. At the ballpark, the Bobcats took on the Longhorns in an intense game, and we've got the game recap for you. All that and more on this edition of Star News Network.
Hey Bobcats, welcome to our April edition of Star News Network. I'm Madi Justice.
And I'm Brookelyn Heinsohn. This is our last show of the spring semester. Can you believe it?
Not at all, but we will have some summer editions for Star News, so make sure you tune into those.
Today we'll be covering a variety of topics, from student protests to baseball to fashion shows and more.
April was a big month in San Marcos when it comes to the festival scene.
The San Marcos Art Fest took place downtown and showed local artists' creations, vendors, and more. Here is reporter Laura Walker with a look into the event.
The city of San Marcos recognizes creativity this month with a celebration of local artists. Paint, pottery, and pictures flood the downtown square as the San Marcos Art Fest overtakes the weekly market. Patricia Castillo and Paul Jolet are a husband and wife duo selling some of their work at the Art Squared Market.
We make all of our sculptures, our single-fired clay, hand-built pieces, and then Patty paints all of this by hand, freehand. This is a tradition that comes out of her hometown in Puebla, Mexico. Everybody's very interested in the work, very nice, so it's been fantastic.
The San Marcos Art League hosts the Art Squared Market 9 times a year and partners with the city for special events such as ArtFest.
San Marcos Art Center, we have about 30 artists who display.
Nancy Brown is the director of the San Marcos Art Center, the gallery space for the Art League.
The Art League sponsored the Chalk Walk. We had about 45 kids. The city paid for everything. They cleaned the sidewalks, they marked the spaces where the kids could work, and they had all these volunteers, so we were very supported in that project. And then here at the Art Center, in the afternoon, we had different activities. We had some handmade stamps that say Art Fest on them in San Marcos, Texas.
At ArtFest, creators of all skill levels gather to support their neighbors and produce pieces live. The city invited over 30 artists to paint murals on Imagine Alley.
I'm taking the credit for his painting because it's coming out of this can. So this is a teddy bear that I sketched up yesterday. It had to be. I think it's really important that you get to see every facet and every walk of the craft, and this is a big part of that. A lot of these dudes are amazing, so it's an honor to be alongside them and smash some walls with the homies, you know?
You can now view these and many other murals all around downtown San Marcos. With Star News Network, this is Laura Walker.
Thanks, Laura. The creativity of these artists is so inspiring. I'm definitely going to check out those murals downtown.
Me too, Maddie. On the topic of festivals, Riverfest was also held this month. It was hosted by Texas State at Sewell Park.
The event was exclusively for students and showcased some popular performers. Here's reporter Eli Fair with a look into the festival.
The weather is heating up here in San Marcos, which means Sewell Park has been a go-to for students lately. Texas State University just held Riverfest, a music festival open to students, here in April, and it attracted quite the crowd. Riverfest was hosted by SACA, the Student Association for Campus Activities. The event was first held in 2003 and returned in 2024 after an 8-year hiatus. After the destructive events in 2024, it was questionable if Riverfest would return in 2025. But after adding some new safety measures, the event took place. Students witnessed a range of performances this year, including sets from artists A-Craze, Loud Luxury, and Mike Posner. The event also had local vendors as well as small carnival attractions available. Here's what Texas State student Marcela Vialta has to say about the performances.
What stood out the most for me at Riverfest were the performers, especially
State's Student Involvement and Engagement website states that Riverfest was created as a student-focused event for Texas State students. With thousands of students in attendance, Riverfest brought many people in the San Marcos community together to celebrate the end of a semester. With Star News Network, I'm Eli Fair.
Thanks, Eli. Riverfest seems to have gone over much better this year than it did last year.
As for campus news, some students organized a class walkout in protest of recent ICE raids and in support of free speech for Palestine.
Here is reporter Talia Bernstein with an inside look of the story.
Several student organizations joined forces to organize a class walkout on Wednesday, April 3rd, in support of free speech for Palestine and protections for the immigrant community at Texas State amidst raids by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE.
Immigrants are welcome here!
Co-chair of Texas State's Young Democratic Socialists of America, Alan Dominguez, describes the recent surge in arrests and deportations among immigrants and international students, especially those involved in university protests for Palestine in Texas and across America.
ICE is going in communities, into people's homes, and disappearing them, and taking away people's parents, taking away people's children. ICE is invading college campuses and disappearing students. The fight for Palestine liberation and the fight for migrant rights are extremely connected.
He adds that the way the administration has handled this situation has made it so that these students no longer feel safe on campus.
ICE off campus!
ICE has been roaming around our campus without anybody contesting it. Resident directors and faculty were notified of full compliance with ICE, that if ICE enters the dormitory, enters the classroom, they have the right.
Student protesters marched from the Stallions all the way across campus to the J.C. Kellum Administration Building to call for the administration to make Texas State a sanctuary campus. This would mean declining to cooperate with ICE and adopting policies to protect the privacy and safety of students, staff, and faculty, particularly regarding citizenship and immigration status.
This university works for the students, staff, and faculty, which includes immigrants, which includes people with a variety of mixed status, and that they are beholden to them, not to increasingly fascistic orders from the state and federal government to deny people their rights.
Participating organizations also handed out resources to students to inform them of their rights and collected signatures to petition in support of the cause.
We want students and workers to understand that they have structural power, to understand that when their government is supporting a genocide, is supporting the disappearing of people, that they have the power to stop it.
With Star News Network, I'm Talia Bernstein.
Thanks for taking us inside what's happening on campus, Talia.
The Fashion Merchandising Association at Texas State held a fashion show to exhibit collections made by student artists.
The designers and models spent all semester on those looks. Reporter Joshua Corona has the story.
Fashion and Merchandising Association held their spring fashion show on April 12th at the Price Center. These Bobcat designers and models came together to curate an exhibit to showcase the looks and collections they worked on over the semester. FMA fashion designer Darren Fowler said his favorite thing about being a designer is using his creativity to make the weirdest stuff.
I don't know, I think if you're making clothes for a runway, like, in my opinion, it's not clothes to like wear every day, it's like a piece of art, so I just like to make the most outlandish stuff and like push the boundaries of like, is it clothes or is it just like, is it art, you know?
This show was not just an exhibit for an organization, but an outlet for Bobcats to express themselves and create. Fashion show coordinator Jalissa Annika talked about what the hardest thing was planning the show as a coordinator.
Honestly, probably just having to work with everyone's schedule. If anyone wants to be a coordinator, it's a lot of work. You have to have passion for it, and it's just organization. You have to have good attention to detail, and it's just with college students, everyone has different schedules. So I think just scheduling everyone for like a photo shoot, model meetings, like anything like that.
FMA was able to hold their fashion show at the Price Center, located on the square, steps from campus. Since the 2000s, the Price Center has been an open venue for the San Marcos community to hold performances, artistic displays, weddings, and more. Nonprofit, low-cost venue has been a gathering place for San Marcos residents for years past and years to come. The show truly was a display of the creativity and talent that our Bobcats possess in such a beautiful and historic venue. With Star News Network, I'm Joshua Corona.
Thanks, Joshua. It's so gratifying to see fellow Bobcats following their passions.
Moving out to the plate, Bobcat baseball faced off against the Texas Longhorns last week in San Marcos.
The Bobcats held the lead until Longhorns hit a grand slam in the ninth and took the win. Here is reporter Paul Richardson with the game recap.
The sound of cracking bats filled Bobcat Ballpark all night long during the Bobcats' Tuesday matchup with the number 1 ranked Texas Longhorns. Winning this game would mean a second win over a number 1 team this season after the Bobcats defeated Texas A&M in College Station earlier this year. The game was a 25-run slugfest, and Texas State got the lead early thanks to heroics from the team's usual offensive performers like Zachary Gingrich and Samson Pugh, but neither of them led the offense on Tuesday. That role belonged to junior first baseman Coy DeFury, who had 2 homers of his own in the first 4 innings, extending his hot streak. Head coach Steven Strout had a lot of praise for DeFury after the game.
The last couple of weeks we've been trying to get him in there more, trying to find different guys in there, and his swing's gotten good in BP and in games and things like that, and in inter squads. So yeah, we're just trying to find guys that can get hot at the right time.
After a Chase Morrow grand slam in the 6th, the Bobcats were up by 5 and poised to win their second number 1 matchup of the season. But baseball is baseball, and things just fall apart sometimes. After a big 8th inning and a go-ahead grand slam in the 9th, the Longhorns had taken a hold of the lead, and they wouldn't let go.
Had the lead going to the 9th against the number 1 team in the country, and they showed why they're number 1, right? But really proud of the guys that competed, right? We competed all night long. We just didn't execute all night long, and so a lot of runs left there, a lot of pitches left there. Didn't play the greatest of defense, but we battled, right? And at the end of the day, you had a chance to win the baseball game, and just didn't make enough plays to get it done.
The Bobcats have a busy week in front of them with another midweek matchup at home against Tarleton State and a weekend series against the mighty Troy Trojans in Alabama. So it's best they put this tough loss behind them. With Star News Network, Paul Richardson.
Thanks for the recap, Paul. Bobcat baseball is looking to finish up their 2025 season in the next few weeks.
Well, Bobcats, that's going to be all we have for you today and a wrap on this semester.
Be sure to keep updated with us over the summer and check back in for our June and July editions.
Thanks for tuning in with us today. I'm Brooklyn.
And I'm Maddie. This was Star News Network. See y'all next time.